subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Thenupurtewarishow, another episode with another guest. And today's guest too, very special. And he is none other than Dr. Om Prakash Misra. And he is the Professor of International Relations, Jadavpur University, member, core committee, and spokesperson, AITC, All India Trinamool Congress. Dr. Misra, welcome to the Thenupurtewarishow.
Thank you. Thank you, Faroz.
So definitely you are into core education, and I would love to get enlightened the youth of India and the Indians who are outside also to know more about the relation between education and politics, because you are into both. So we'd love to know what is the relation between education and politics and how it helps.
Well, thank you. And this is a important question. See, I am one of those very, very few people in India who have been into academics and also a grassroots political activist. So since age 18, I'm into both. So even while I was a gold medalist of my university, I was also the general secretary of the Students' Union of my college. And past 3 decades, I'm teaching at one of India's top universities, Jadavpur University. But I also continue to hold a political office outside my academic involvement and preoccupation. So therefore, I have always believed that education must also necessarily involve understanding of society, and it must also definitely also involve activism. So I have been a political activist, so to say, of Indian National Congress. And for the most part of my life and past 2.5 years, I am with the All India Trinamool Congress, which also believes in constitutional democracy and a liberal and secular outlook for India.
Wonderful, yes, from academics to politics. And as you said, that since the age of 18, you have been involved with politics. So what was your call? Look, why did you think that I should join politics at the age of 18?
Well, I was studying political science.
Okay.
And I have always been very much, you may say, wedded to democracy. And when I went into the college, there was a new dispensation in West Bengal led by the Communist Party of India, Marxist. So they had formed a government in Bengal. And the way they were looking at society, or they were trying to negotiate economic development, and they were thinking on personal freedom. These were completely to my dislike. And I was a nationalist. I was also into liberal democratic ideas. And so therefore, I found that it is important for me to work for democracy or democratic political parties, nationalist political parties. And it was important for me in Bengal, the countryside of Bengal, South Dinajpur district, to oppose the communists and views that they represented. So that is how my tries with politics began. And today also, it's the same ideological pull in favor of constitutional democracy that attracts me. And I have believed as a student of international relations and someone who has been teaching international relations for more than 3 decades that India, there is much for India to give to the world, and this must be in the form of uh, liberalism, constitutionalism, democracy, and even while we should focus on national resilience, but international interdependence is also crucial for India, and India must play its rightful role in the Committee of Nations. And this has always been my endeavor through my teaching and through my research, through my overseas engagement, including to your country, to Japan. I have been to promote India's international relations, good relations with a very, very significant country like Japan. In fact, I actually teach a course on Japan, foreign
Hmm.
policy in my university also. Not in a very detailed way, but then changes that have come about in the Japanese foreign and security policy thinking, especially in the last 2, 3 decades, especially on the question of uh, Article 9 of the Constitution of Japan, like that. So our students are also very much interested.
But talking about the course you teach in the university about the Japan, so if you can just a little bit elaborate about it.
Well, this is part of a course on major powers in contemporary international relations. So beyond the Cold War and beyond the politics of the USA and USSR, we do also in this course focus on emerging country like China
Mhm.
and a emerging responsible economic powerhouse like Japan, and of course the European Union, which is also emerging as an actor. So these are the five countries or region that we focus as part of the major powers. Of course, India is also a major power, and then that is a course that is definitely thought. So in the context of Japan, a special focus is on how Japan actually prioritized economic cooperation, economic diplomacy through 1950s through 70s, and how that was important for Japan in order to consolidate itself, and how, especially because of certain developments in the 1980s, and especially Japan's own dependence on import of oil, Japan actually has to rethink about its security environment in the world, and how Japanese self-defense forces, they have been given wider mandates, and how that actually has also brought about a debate in Japan on the continued relevance of Article 9 of the Japan's constitution. So these
Okay.
are the aspects that we focus, and especially, of course, relations with India, Japan's relations with the United States of America, or Japan's well friendly relations and competitive relations with China. So these are, of course, also these are also under the focus.
Okay, so I'm now going back to West Bengal, where you started your political career also, and definitely academics as well. So, like you said, because you didn't like the communist, the way they used to think, and they wanted to run the state. So now, do you think it is different than the communist, how it used to be and how it is now? How different that is?
Well, there are many aspects of administration and governance in Bengal, which are distinct and different from how it was run, especially under the left front government. The left front government had come to power in 1977, and you in Japan, you will have a lot of difficulty in understanding the same power, combination of power. They continued to rule one of the biggest states of India for long 34 years. Unfortunately, this was a period which saw decline of West Bengal in terms of the economic powerhouse that the state was, or the tradition of manufacturing and heavy industry that West Bengal boasted itself. So there was an all round decline in terms of economic productivity, and then there was too much of trade unionism, especially collective rights of the unions. So all this actually was quite a dampener so far as Bengal was concerned. I would not like to talk much about how politically it was very difficult for the opposition because the communists, they were not very sure that whether they are working for the parliamentary democracy or they are working also for the overthrow of parliamentary democracy, because their ideological plank suggested dictatorship of proletariat, but here they were very much participant in the parliamentary democratic politics. So ultimately, in 2011, under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee and All India Trinamool Congress and the Indian National Congress, together a coalition was formed, and that could oust West Bengal's 34-year communist regime. And lot has changed, lot much has changed. West Bengal is now on the path of economic recovery, and West Bengal is also now quite forward looking. It is a leading state of the country, but at the same time, I must also confess that West Bengal did lag behind a lot. And right now, under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee, we are trying to reignite the forces which had once propelled West Bengal as one of the top states of the country. This is the third time that Mamata Banerjee has got elected as the chief minister. And when we say chief minister of West Bengal, and this is almost about more than 100 million population, more than 10 crore population, and it's a very big state, third biggest state. And this time the focus is on industry. And in fact, there will be a very big industrial summit, which has been planned for the month of April. We only hope that everything goes fine and that we are able to overcome this third wave, which is creating havoc all around the world. For this business summit, West Bengal Chief Minister has been very forward-looking, and he has in fact invited the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, to inaugurate the business summit. And we really are looking forward to engage with the outside world, including from Japan in this business summit.
Wonderful. Yeah, definitely. West Bengal and any other state, the India, if any state is behind, India cannot be developed. So we have to together, we have to just try our best to pull each and every state.
Correct.
Right.
Equitable regional development is important.
Very much important. Exactly. So because India is not only Delhi or any center, India is all the states together. So here, since you are also from West Bengal and you are the national spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, so you'd love to know that West Bengal's strength here, the strength of West Bengal, which can attract more people, even normal, which tourist also. I would like to say tourist also, and for the industry also, how it can attract West Bengal can attract more people. The strength of West Bengal, if you can explain a bit about it.
Definitely. I must emphasize that West Bengal has been one of the most progressive states, especially in two contexts. One is that British education, as well as the industrial revolution in India, came about to Bengal first. Secondly, most of the important social reform movements in the country, these have also originated in West Bengal. Thirdly, West Bengal and Bengalis have been in the forefront of the struggle for the freedom and independence. So all these three makes West Bengal quite unique in India, both in terms of its contribution as well as in terms of its potential. The other aspect for Bengal is that West Bengal is culturally very rich. In fact, it is considered to be one of the richest uh, region of the world in terms of the concentration of cultural artifacts, pilgrimage centers, site of learnings. And at one point of time, including my university, Yogannanupur University was in the forefront of engineering education in India. So all this in the past, that is actually quite uh, significant for understanding West Bengal. And then, of course, West Bengal is the land of Rabindranath Tagore and of Satyajit Roy and also of Mother Teresa. And in fact, Amartya Sen, the very famous economist, Nobel laureate, he is also from Bengal. And then the more latest in Nobel Prize for Economics has also again come to yet another Bengali who is based out of United States of America. And so far as the present situation is concerned, West Bengal is completely disciplined. In fact, West Bengal does not have any strike or, for that matter, industrial dispute anymore. And government has been very proactive, and so therefore, past 10 years has seen that the you know the industrial unrest has become a matter of the past. And in fact, there were earlier a lot of political violence, which has also come more or less to an end. So therefore, West Bengal is a picture of stability. It has got a very good leadership. The only female chief minister in the country, and one chief minister who is now increasingly understood and accepted as having an international, recognition for her public administration, for her public policy.
So, you said that you started your life with the National Congress. Now you are with Trinamool. So, what made you change to National Congress to Trinamool?
Now, so far as I'm concerned, there is not much of an ideological divide between Indian National Congress and Trinamool Congress. And we were together also in 2001 and 2011 elections. However, Trinamool Congress is actually the one of the potential, one of the leading political uh, force, and especially Mamata Banerjee's leadership.
So, we have been celebrating 125th birth anniversary of Subhash Chandra Bose, Netaji. So, how Subhash's India would have been? What do you think?
Well, actually, this is a very difficult question. Subhash Bose is a national icon where everywhere, every Indian respects him. And it is very tragic that we could not get his contribution and his services for our country because of circumstances which are still very obscure and controversial. But then there is no doubt that the vision of Subhash Bose was in favor of planned economy. It was for liberal values, and it was also for the secular outlook for the country. This much one can glean from his writings and his speeches and everyone, which actually shows his greatness, which shows his relevance, and which also shows the enduring values of Subhash Bose's ideal. And so, therefore, we remember him. All the state governments, all the central governments, they remember him. In Bengal, of course, he was a Bengali, and his political base was in Bengal. In Bengal, we are very proud of him. Nonetheless, I must say that irrespective of the powers that be at the center, or in Bengal, in Goa, in Karnataka, in Uttarakhand, in Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, everywhere, Subhash Bose is highly respected, highly revered. And I do think that he would have definitely contributed a lot had we been able to get his services and contribution to the life of the nation. And that is something that nothing specific can actually be said at this point of time, because after all, that is deep in the history. We cannot recreate history through our imagination, but then definitely Subhash Bose would have been a very much loved leader of the.
Exactly. And definitely, anything we believe in, anything, however differences we have, the most important thing is India. India should be there, right? India should be,
right.
especially when we are outside of India, the first thing we just want to see India is rising. So that is our first concern. So now I'm going back to the academic, actually, where we started, the politics and academics. So how do you think we can politics can attract more academicians and more people from academics background?
There are two parts. One is that how good students, they should be involved in politics. That is one part. And the other part that you wanted to focus on, that how good academicians or those who are in the academics, they can become part of the political life. Now, so far as the second part is concerned, actually, academicians are part of the political life, especially in terms of the policy domain. So, for example, in developing countries, as well as in the developed countries, you require a whole lot of academicians and policy planners and town planners and those who are from experts on demography and culture. And so therefore, in India, there has been a fair amount of academicians who also enter into politics. But then that is a lateral entry. That is a lateral entry. So many of the academicians, they get opted by the political establishment and the political parties. Now, for example, Dr. Manmohan Singh himself is a very good example. He was actually an academic who went into the policy domain, and then he was picked up by the political class in 1991 to become the foreign minister, to become the finance minister of the country. And then, of course, liberalization was given a huge fillip under his leadership of the finance ministry. He rose to become the Prime Minister of India also, and successfully led a government of UPA 1 and 2 in this century. Now, there are certain pitfalls in politics, and that is how and why many people tend to avoid it. And that is that there is intense competition, especially in a country like India. It is so very difficult to get political recognition. And there are people who may be working for their parties for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and may not even get a recognition in the form of what is called election ticket to contest the election. But then there are people who are also lucky, that those who possibly may be able to make it very fast. So there are significant limitations because of the density, because of the competition, and also because that there is a correlation between financial resource, and the success in politics. In this context, also academicians are very poor, and so therefore, it becomes quite tough for them to be involved in politics. So becoming involved in policy is one issue. Involved in political discourse is another issue, and becoming involved in political parties is another issue. So far as the first two issues are concerned, the academicians in India they are very much part of the political rhetoric or the political universe. But so far as their representational number in the parliament or in the political parties are concerned, that is not very high.
But I hope that after listening to you and after seeing your work, because you are a hardcore academic, and you're teaching also in Yogannanupur University, I hope many people will get inspired and they will join politics, and we can have a lot more like you So
Thank you.
thank you so much for giving us
It was wonderful. It was
information.
wonderful to speak to you. And in fact, it will be a pleasure for us to connect again. And I must also say that this is a very great format for this interaction. And thank you very much. I wish you, your YouTube channel, and all the people associated with your channel, and all your friends, and all your followers a very happy new year, and let us all get into a post-pandemic world of cooperation and prosperity.
Wonderful. You have said already everything. And I'm sure that we are going to end, the pandemic is going to end very soon and are going back to the normal life again. And the world is going to see another beautiful year this year, like before. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining and giving us so much information, and looking forward to having you again and again here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Misra. Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.